Okay. Good morning. How's everybody this morning? Good, good. I know you're chatty this morning. That's okay. Um, this is our legislative meeting of May the 7th. We have lots of nice proclamations we're going to do. Normally, what we do is to start out with a silent prayer. And then, if you could please do that for a moment, and then Pledge of Allegiance, that would be great. Thank you. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, let's have some introductions up here.
Quinn Falter, Executive Assistant.
Christy Rischel, Interim Clerk.
Good morning. I'm County Commissioner Denise Driehaus.
Jeff Faluto, County Administrator.
Linda Smith, Assistant Prosecuting Attorney.
Stephanie Summerall Dumas, President of the Board. When we were saying the prayer, I was thinking to myself, what would they do if I never said amen? Would they just keep praying? I don't know. So, okay, and I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes of the previous session.
Second.
Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes.
Commissioner Driehaus.
Okay. Oh, I was. Yeah. Okay. So thank you so much. So I would like to make a motion to excuse Vice President Reese.
Second.
Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes.
Commissioner Driehaus.
Very good, Chris. So she's our interim clerk right now, doing a great job, has been doing a great job. So, yeah, she keeps us in order. So that's a great thing. Our first proclamation is recognizing National Therapy Animal Day. I have 3 of them up here, so are they in order or not? Okay.
This one.
Okay. All righty. So we can,
Yes.
you can start that, Commissioner Driehaus.
So yes, we do this every year, and we've got our special guests. We've got guests, and then we've got our furry friend guests. So our special guests here to talk about National Therapy Animal Day. So we're going to invite you up to the podium, but we are going to read the proclamation first in honor of the day. So again, celebrating National Therapy Animal Day. Whereas there are thousands of pet partner therapy animal teams serving in communities across the United States.
Well, and whereas pet partners are designated April 30th as National Therapy Animal Day, and whereas scientific research shows that interacting with therapy animals can reduce stress, relieve depression, slow heart rate, lower blood pressure, and strengthen the immune system. And whereas therapy animal teams in Hamilton County play an essential role in improving human health and well-being through the human-animal bond. They have me doing it all.
You got one more.
Yeah. And whereas therapy animal teams interact with a variety of people in our community, including veterans, seniors, patients, students, and those approaching end of life.
And whereas the exceptional therapy animals who partner with their human companions bring comfort and healing to those in need. And whereas we encourage more pet owners to consider becoming pet partners, volunteers to help our community by creating greater access to meaningful therapy animal visits. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners does hereby recognize the service of therapy animal teams in our community and does hereby proclaim April 30th, 2026 as National Therapy Animal Day in all of Hamilton County. So we've got some representatives from Pet Partners here today. So please talk to us about the benefit of the therapy animals, and thank you for coming in today to raise awareness about the issue.
Of course. Well, I'm Trish Smith, and this is Rosie, and we're with Pet Partners, and with me is Nancy and Minnie, and we have Stacy and Boeing in the back. And I think they've been interacting a little bit with the crowd here, so hopefully they gave you a little happiness before the meetings today. Pet Partners is an international organization. We're in all 50 states and Canada, and then internationally we're in about a dozen countries overseas. Here in Greater Cincinnati, we have over 175 teams. 90% are dogs. But we also have, I was telling the prosecutor over there, we have rats and we have rabbits and we have cats here in Greater Cincinnati. We go to schools, universities, and a lot of hospitals, medical facilities, et cetera, as you mentioned in the proclamation. Greater Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky, Southwest Indiana, we go all over the place. And it's a lot of fun. I walk in with a cute dog. If I walked in here tomorrow, not one person would know who I was unless I had the dog in my arms. I find that every visit I go on. Wonderful organization. We enjoy supporting Greater Cincinnati, all of the facilities. We'd love to come anytime you all want a little stress relief. We love to come and visit with offices and things like that as well. So thank you so much again for having us. It's quite an honor. You guys make this a nice big deal for us, and it's a really wonderful day to celebrate the day and the organization. So thank you so much.
It's always an awesome day. So I just love dogs, and I don't have the time right now to take care of them, but I'm very much, and she is looking at me.
Oh yeah, it's probably
And,
looking at the camera wherever.
You know,
it is.
just animals are great because they don't judge you, they accept you for who you are,
Right.
and they provide what you need at that time. So thank you so much. And you contacted us a while ago to make sure that this happened.
Yes.
So did you have any more you wanted to
Yeah,
say?
I just want to thank you for coming in again. I'm a grandparent to dogs that I'm going to visit actually this weekend for Mother's Day. But
Wonderful.
yeah, they do provide so much solace to people and comfort and warmth. And I bet they're a big hit with kids.
Oh yeah.
Right. So we'll take a photo with you. I'm trying to remember how we do this photo, Commissioner. Do we do it up front or do we do it back here?
Let's do it up front because I think our colleague has little allergies and it may last when she comes to go in front. Even though she's not here, we don't want to leave any residue. One more. Okay. One more photo, please. Over here, please. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks. You too.
Very good. Our next order of business is a proclamation for National Children's Mental Health Awareness Month. And you want to start?
All right, we've got a proclamation recognizing National Children's Mental Health Awareness Week in Hamilton County. Whereas addressing the complex mental health needs of children, youth, and families today is fundamental to the future of Hamilton County. And whereas the need for comprehensive, coordinated mental health services and education for children, youth, young adults, and families places upon our community a critical responsibility. And whereas National Children's Mental Health Awareness Week and Day is an annual event, and whereas this week will be celebrated in communities all across America to raise awareness of programs for the mental health needs of youth and young adults, to promote positive youth development, recovery, and resilience, and to show how youth, teens, and young adults can thrive in our community. And whereas when partners work together, families are more likely to experience support that is connected. This year, Journey to Successful Living, Hamilton County Mental Health and Recovery Services Board, and Lighthouse Youth and Family Services are partnering to raise awareness of the mental health needs of children, youth, and young adults by highlighting the power of collaboration and promoting National Children's Mental Health Awareness in the Green Ribbon Campaign and a host of other activities throughout the month.
And whereas Journey to Successful Living, a program of the Hamilton County Mental Health and Recovery Services Board, is effectively caring for the mental health needs of transition-age youth, young adults 14 to 21, and their families in our community. And whereas Lighthouse Youth and Family Services' mission is to empower young people and families to succeed through a continuum of care that promotes healing and growth. And whereas Journey to Successful Living, along with the partners, Hamilton County's Job and Family Services, Hamilton County Juvenile Court, Hamilton County Developmental Disability Services, Cincinnati Public Schools, provider agencies, families, and youth, and Lighthouse Youth and Family Services and its members urges citizens, agencies, and organizations to participate in raising awareness about mental health and to call for action beyond awareness, to be proactive in responding to the needs of our children, youth, and young adults and families. Now therefore be it proclaimed that this Board of Commissioners encourages Hamilton County residents and its participants in the National Children's Mental Health Awareness Week on May the 3rd through the 9th, 2026, to help bring attention to the well-being and mental health of the children, youth, young adults, and adults in our county. Be it further proclaimed that the Board of Hamilton County Commissioners does hereby proclaim May the 3rd through the 9th, 2026 as National Children's Mental Health Awareness Week in all of Hamilton County. Very good. We'll say a few comments, and then you certainly can come up here and, Commissioner Driehaus, do you have some comments?
Thank you. Yes. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for bringing this attention to this issue here at the meeting and throughout the day, the week, and the month that's coming up. I think we've seen, especially since COVID, significant increases in challenges for youth when it comes to mental health issues. And so it is important that we keep this top of mind. It's one of the most significant issues in our county. And so I'm grateful for the work that you're doing in collaboration with one another to make sure that we are addressing this issue and putting a strategic lens on it. So Linda, thank you to yourself, the Mental Health and Recovery Services Board, and all the other organizations that are here in partnership.
Thank you for coming. I think earlier I said Mental Health Month. I wanted to give you a whole month. My experience has been, and my concentration has been mental health and with youth for 48 years. So this is near and dear to me. And I'm glad that we're publicly, not just now, but just bringing more awareness as we go through the years, because it's even more prevalent right now. So would you like to say something?
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you, commissioners, for allowing us to be here to talk about, this is May 7th, National Children's Mental Health Awareness Day, and it's celebrated and promoted nationally every year, certainly in observance of raising awareness about the importance of children's mental health, promoting positive youth development, resilience, and recovery. So thank you again. I've brought some friends with me here today. I have a couple of colleagues with our Hamilton County Mental Health and Recovery Services Board. I should probably introduce myself first. Linda Gallagher with the board. I also have Dr. Evelyn Sears and Dr. Carrie Studemeyer with me. we have representatives from the Journey to Successful Living program, which emphasizes all of the services and life skill development and training and service connection for transition age youth. We have Ms. Emily Wilson as well as Ms. Janice McQueen. And we also have Ms. Valerie. Oh, there she is. Good. I thought maybe I thought I lost her for a minute. Miss Valerie would like to say a few words as well. She's a parent to one of the youth or to several of youth who have needs. And we also have with us Mr. George Guy, with the CEO of Lighthouse Youth and Family Services. And I would like to invite Mr. Guy to say a few words about the services that Lighthouse actually provides for these youth.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Come forward.
Good morning, Madam Commissioners and staff. It was probably around the month before I started. I was here introducing myself to you. I never would have thought I'd be here today. Such an occasion. But I think the real star is the mother, and I'm not going to take too much time. I just want to say on behalf of our Board of Trustees and the Lighthouse team, how much we appreciate the collaboration with the other partners that were mentioned here, and of course the County Board, Mental Health County Board, for convening these efforts to make sure that we can address that. And lastly, I'll just say this: since my short time I've been here, and again on behalf of our team and our trustees, I can't tell you how incredible it is to see municipality really engage in these efforts and the leadership that you all are providing to make sure that we address these things and these challenges for our young people. So we appreciate the opportunity to be a part of that mission, and we also want to be on the table to make sure that we're doing more, because we know that more is needed. But again, we want to thank you for your leadership and thank you for acknowledging this day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Morning, everyone. I have the opportunity to raise two special need kids. One's deaf, one ADHD. I worked with MRDD, which gave me a lot of skills to deal with these children. It's an honor I done had them since they were 5 and 6. They 17 and 18. I noticed a lot of changes that done occurred in their lives, but this program helps me to stay focused, helps strengthen me to deal with their issues. It's just an honor to have that support, because we really need this kind of support with these special need children. And I just want to say thank y'all all.
Thank you. Appreciate your conversation. And so as you were saying, it is so important that the funding remains for these services. And so we're going to try very hard as a board and as a county to make sure we do all we can do to advocate in Columbus and Washington to make sure that that money continues to flow down. So thank you so much for your statement. So we're going to come down and take a picture, okay? you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. So our next order of it, yes,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
sure, absolutely. Okay, so we had one of our youth just come. Would you like to say a few words as it relates to Mental Health Awareness Day? Welcome. Okay,
How's everybody feeling?
good.
I guess speak a few words about how mental health is important. I'm like 26 years old, and I've been kind of going through the system, like through Lighthouse and various companies to try to help me get myself supported. And I've learned that one, mental health has a broad spectrum of cases with people, and it can be heartbreaking to watch. I came from a certain household, and when I got put out, my mom was like, I'm moving, and you're not coming with me. And I thought that sucked enough, just kind of trying to figure things out on my own. I wasn't taught too much about life, and I thought that nothing could get worse than this. And then I learned that, even though I got diagnoses and stuff, and I've been taking medications and stuff, that there's a worse. I got friends that I hold close to me that are going through with different diagnoses and everything, and even to this day, I'm still looking out for them. And one thing I've learned is that, when it takes a village, it doesn't stop at children. It takes a village just to keep ourselves standing.
Yes.
And I was actually just talking to a friend of mine who's going through it. He's the same age as me. And I just keep trying to tell him, like, dude, just keep trying. There's always an option. There's always something that you can do. And that's something that we can't give up on. I don't get too much to say, but that's pretty much
Well,
about it.
thank you so much for coming down and sharing your story. And also, I thank you for encouraging those that are around you to make them better. So thank you. And what's your name? Just your first name is good.
Kylan.
Kylan, okay. Would you like to make a comment?
I just want to thank you. I'm glad you got here in time to talk to us. You've really put a face to it, and you represent the importance of recognizing the weak and recognizing the work that you're doing in the community to make things better for yourself and for others. So thank you for having the courage to tell your story. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Okay, we have one other proclamation, which is recognizing May 2026 as Building Safety Month. Who's here to represent? Is that our? Okay, all right, you can come around.
All right, good morning. So I will start with whereas Hamilton County is committed to
Hold on
recognizing
one second.
that our growth and strength depends
Hold on for a
the
second, please. Okay. Okay, you can go on.
Whereas Hamilton County is committed to recognizing that our growth and strength depends on the safety and essential role our homes, buildings, and infrastructure play both in everyday life and when disasters strike. And whereas our confidence in the resilience of these buildings that make up our community is achieved through the devotion of village and guardians, building safety and fire prevention officials, architects, engineers, builders, tradespeople, design professionals, laborers, plumbers, and others in the construction industry who work year-round to ensure the safe construction of buildings. And whereas these guardians are dedicated members of the International Code Council, ICC, a nonprofit that brings together local, state, territorial, tribal, and federal officials who are experts in the built environment to create and implement the highest quality codes and standards to protect us in the buildings where we live, learn, work, and play. And whereas these modern building codes and standards include safeguards to protect the public from hazards such as hurricanes, snowstorms, tornadoes, wildfires, floods, and earthquakes.
And whereas Building Safety Month is sponsored by ICC to remind the public about the critical role of our communities, largely unknown protectors of public safety, our code officials who ensure us of safe, sustainable, and affordable buildings that are essential to our prosperity. And whereas Built to Last, the theme for Building Safety Month 2026, encourage us all to get involved and raise awareness about building safety on a personal, local, and global scale. And whereas each year, in observance of Building Safety Month, people all over the world are asked to consider the commitment to improve building safety, resilience, and economic investment at home and in the community, and to acknowledge the essential service provided to all of us by local, state, tribal, territorial, federal building safety, and fire prevention departments to protect lives and property. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners of Hamilton County, Ohio, does hereby encourage our citizens to join us as we participate in Building Safety Month activities. Be it further proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners of Hamilton County, Ohio, does hereby proclaim May 2026 as Building Safety Month in all of Hamilton County. We'll say a few words and then you certainly can say some. Commissioner Driehaus.
Thank you. Yeah, so the first time we did this, I was like, Building Safety Month. Okay, what in the world are we talking about here? But then you read through the proclamation and you realize all of the thought and effort and labor that goes into making these buildings safe for the rest of us and the public that comes to see us is really important. And there's a lot of forethought that goes on here. So it's really great that we recognize it, bring people's awareness to it, and all the efforts of yourself and others that go into doing this service for the public. So thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for coming. And I think we just think of it, building safety is so essential. And so I'm glad that, as was said earlier, that we're recognizing it, and we would be in lots of trouble if we didn't make sure not only our facilities, but other facilities are safe. So he's just chomping at the bit to be able to say, go ahead, let me hear what you have to say.
Mike Stalen, I'm
Yes.
the building official for Hamilton County. I think it's important what you're saying, consistency. Before the ICC was formed in 1994 or whatever, there were different building codes throughout the whole country. There was no consistency. There was a Southern building code. There was a building code for the Midwest, and it was developing. The idea was to have a code that's nationwide. So the ICC is a nonprofit. They develop these codes, and they're adopted by all 50 states with some modification. So we implement those, and it's important when throughout the country, we have a consistent building code that's you know what to expect when you go into a building anywhere in the United States. There are the Building Safety Month. They've organized it into 4 weeks. Week 1 was Safe Homes and Strong Communities. It's about general safety, smoke alarms, things like that. So we're going to be talking about that. Week 2 is Building Safety Professionals. So that's people like me, my staff, the inspectors, and also we're taking advantage of this to try to recruit. Because we do training, we usually bring in people that are maybe in the trades or have some experience, bring them in to train them further so they can be inspectors. Week 3 theme is Prepared to Protect, about building resilient buildings that are prepared for things like tornadoes and fires and wind damage. And week 4 is Communities Without Limits, which is about accessibility, for handicapped accessibility, et cetera. So Hamilton County Building Department and our associated 22 fire departments are taking to the airwaves and to social media to raise awareness. And thank you for making this proclamation. It's an important part of our awareness campaign.
Thank you so much for your comments. We're going to come down and take a picture with you. Yeah, sure, Jeff.
So I just want to thank Mike for all of his work and the work of his team up on the 8th floor. As you all referenced today, I want to thank you for your acknowledgement of this. This is truly the type of behind-the-scenes work that is the day-to-day bread and butter of what the county does. And in particular, not only are they called upon every single day to make sure that they're keeping the rest of us safe, and sometimes you even get to see that, not in Hamilton County, but other communities where you see news stories about, deck collapses and things of that nature. I mean, those are the types of things that happen when those things aren't seen to. But not only are they called upon to do that, but they're also the front door of economic development in this community. So developers and builders are coming to them and constantly pressuring to say, hey, well, can we do this? Can we do that? And these are the guys, the men and women that are called upon to balance that for everybody and to make sure that we're being safe while at the same time supporting the ability for people to do work in this county. So it's an incredibly tough job. When I got here to the county, I was getting maybe 3 or 4 calls a week from people upset about that. I hardly get any calls anymore, so they must be doing a really good job. So thanks, Mike. Thanks you and your team.
Thanks, Jeff. We'll come down. You have anyone with you? No. Oh, you do it all yourself. Okay, we have some public comments. Caitlin Smith, please come forward.
Hello.
Hi, welcome.
Thank you. My name is Caitlin Smith. I live at 425 Pedretti. I did. So I understand, open inspection since 2009 on the property. I have 5 years in experience I was assistant to a home inspector. The gas was shut down by Duke Energy on February 25th. I've called Duke Energy and they have no record of this. So tell me why they're on the Board of Trustees for the Greater League of Southwest Ohio, which from my understanding is, gives the EPA grants to the county. It's the EPA grants to, basically this building is supposed to be rebuilt into Pedretti Place, which is 48 senior buildings. So I'm wondering why a quote out-of-state landlord is being awarded grant money for a rebuild of a property that she left neglected on purpose, in my opinion, because she had a notice of violation issued by the health department that was falsely closed in December. And then they didn't want to reopen my case. My mom helped me catch up on my rent my landlord's son has a PhD in public government agencies and building science. There's no excuse for this building to have had a gas leak. This is constructive eviction. I couldn't get any help from legal aid, but now legal aid wants to send me a letter in the mail saying, oh, I guess you moved back in and now I'm being evicted? After I couldn't live there, my landlord had not communicated with me a timeline of repairs, anything. And the Z-scored method that Arturo Vega uses actually groups data to hide unrealistic green goals for this grant money. I don't understand how I'm getting evicted and she won't give me, and when I've been out of the house. It's not my parents' responsibility to take care of their 30-year-old kid.
Okay, thank you for your comments. Okay, our next one is Felicia Brock. Welcome. You have 2 minutes. Thank you so much. Okay, you can give it to the clerk. Thank you.
A call of reform. Children's Services has failed our children. Honorable Commissioners,
Hold on.
Children's Services has failed our children. This is a call for reform. Honorable Commissioners, I stand before you today not as a politician, not as a lawyer, not as a paid advocate, but as a mother, a survivor, and a former foster child who lived through this broken system firsthand. I am here to demand justice for our children. I am here to ask you to vote no on a full funding for Children's Services as it currently operates, because as it stands today, this system is not saving children. It is failing them. It is harming them. And into many cases, it is destroying them. The children have no voice, and that must change. In our courtrooms, children are spoken about, decided for, and rolled up on, but they are never truly heard. Their voices are silenced by a system that claims to act in their best interest, yet repeatedly acts against it. Commissioners, I am asking you today, be the voice of these children. They do not have a voice for themselves. Before you cast your vote, ask yourself honestly, is the funding truly protecting the children? Or is the funding a system that causes them more harm than good? Where is the money really going? I was a foster child. I know what happens inside those homes. I watched foster parents receive monthly payments for the children in their care and spend it on cigarettes, gas, new cars, hair appointments. The children that money was supposed to serve, they went without. I asked you directly, commissioners, where is the funding really going? Is it going toward keeping families together or tearing them apart?
Can you please summarize, Felicia, because your time is up?
Yes. So basically what I'm trying to say is this is a corruptive system. I have been dealing with Children's Services for 3.5 years. They continue to want to use your past history. Excuse me. They take no responsibility, no accountability for what happens when the children are in their care. There are foster parents still out there right now that has a job fostering these children. These workers are not being held accountable. There's children that are getting taken away. The funding's not going toward reunification. It's going toward permanent custody. Children who do not deserve to be permanently removed, such as a domestic violence in the home where children was really never witnessed. They were in school. I mean, you guys have to be a voice for these children because they do not have a voice. Everybody else has a voice for the children. But when do we stand up and say it's time to not fully fund this agency because the funds are really not going where they need to be?
Okay, thank you. I appreciate your comments. I just had one question. You live in Cincinnati.
Yes.
Just wondering why you had to file in Licking County.
The children were in foster care in Lincoln County. That is from the detectives.
Okay.
Yeah, the Children's Services fostered the children in Lincoln County, and then the perpetrators in jail. Both of my children were raped. And they continue to have lack accountability for what the children were being cared for in their care.
Thank you for coming down and speaking in behalf of the children. Okay, thank you. All right, our next order of business, comments and motions, Commissioner Dreehouse.
Thank you. Just a couple of things this week. After our meeting last week, I had the pleasure of going to the YWCA Women of Achievement Award. I want to congratulate those that got the awards, but also thank the YW for being a partner with Hamilton County on so many issues related to women that suffer from domestic violence and the impact to their children. So grateful for the invitation to go to that lunch. I participated in the Flying Pig over the weekend. I say it because I want to give kudos to the pig. It was well organized. It was a chilly day, but there were thousands and thousands of people out there, and I think it was the biggest one ever, and I think some records were broken. So congratulations to those that were part of the organizing of that event. It was well done, and people seemed to really enjoy the occasion and the camaraderie of being together. And then lastly, I was in attendance at a ribbon cutting yesterday in Norwood. The mayor, Victor Schneider, and Jim Bonsall, one of the council members, were out there. And this is a project that we helped to fund. We set aside over $5 million in stormwater money for the county, for different parts of the community. And one of them, I think it was 2.3, was used in Norwood. There has been significant flooding in Norwood when we have these heavy weather events. And so this project will alleviate all of the overland flooding in this community and some of the backups that happen in people's basements and in their homes by recreating what used to be a stream in the community that captured all the runoff. They've recreated this with a retention basin that gathers all the water, all the excess, and then slowly moves it out. And so it will solve for a lot of the flooding issues in the community of Norwood. And they were very excited about the project. It's a feat in engineering. It's really something to see. So I was out there representing the commission and grateful that that money has been put to good use for the residents of the county. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Just a couple things. I've been involved with our One Ohio grant review. There were lots of grants that came, applications for money for our One Ohio program. Really excited about that. Our group had 12 to review, and we thoroughly reviewed, made our recommendations, and we'll see how it goes. We don't, of course, don't have enough money for everyone, but it's just an opportunity for some of them. Also attended the EMA meeting on Monday. Nick was out of town, but Ryan did a great job facilitating that meeting. There's lots of great things coming forward at the EMA agency, and you'll hear more about it. I also had a birthday yesterday, so I thank everyone for all the salutations and congratulations and all of that, and real good to see another year. But right before that, we had an election. I was on the ballot, and I want to thank my campaign team for working very hard for that purpose. And I just want to make a comment. We always talk about come out and vote. Well, people did not come out and vote. It was less than 20% in the county that came out to make a decision of who would take the responsibility of moving this county forward and continuing the great work that we're doing. And so it's just pretty sad that when we have 835,000 people, all of them are not voters. I believe it's about 600,000 and 30-something voters, that only less than 20% came out. A lot of people think primaries are not important, but they are extremely important. I did not get enough votes to move forward in the election, but I thank all of those who came out and did vote, either one way or the other, that they took the time, the less than 20% to do it. But I just want to tell people, I'm still the president. I will still lead this board. I will still speak as the president wherever I go into the end of December. Don't cry for me. People were calling, crying, concerned. I'm looking forward, and I'm excited about my next. So I've done lots of great things here and everywhere else that I've gone. So I'm good. So don't worry about me. I wanted to speak lastly about the project in Norwood. I was there a year ago when we broke ground for that project in Norwood. Didn't make it yesterday because, as I said, it was my birthday. And to see that they were able to finalize their project in in a year was great to see. I saw the ribbon cutting yesterday. But we'll move forth. I'll be praying for Hamilton County as I move forward and as this board will move forward at the end of the year. So that's all I have at this time. Jeff, you have some comments?
Yes, Commissioners, just one brief comment and then a by-leave item. Just comment. I just wanted to let the board know that we did our first ever consolidated onboarding of new employees today out at Central Campus Building. It was light years different from the onboardings that we have done in our older buildings. So we invited and welcomed 10 to 12 new county employees on, both from Job and Family Services and 911. So it was again, just want to thank the board for their vision and execution of that project. It makes a world of difference in terms of our ability to attract and retain employees. I do have one by-leave item on for today, Commissioners. It is the resolution authorizing meetings of the Board of County Commissioners to be held at the Central Campus. So I certainly recommend approval. I'm happy, Commissioners, if you'd like to walk through the specific dates that we are changing, if you think that would be helpful, just to.
I think that would be helpful, Jeff.
Okay. So these are setting the dates of meetings at the Central Campus Building at Thursday, May 21st, 2026 for the regular meeting at 10 a.m., Thursday, July 16th for the regular meeting at 6 p.m., Tuesday, August 11th, 2026, the staff meeting at 10 a.m., and Thursday, September 10th, the regular meeting at 10 a.m. Again, all of those meetings previously indicated to be held at the Central Campus location at 1701 Patricia McCollum Way. The administration recommends approval.
Thank you so much. Commissioner Dreehouse.
No questions.
I think it's just really good that the community gets an opportunity to see this new building, as was indicated earlier. And also, I've heard talk about how can you afford this big building, and we're trying to do other things and our budget is not looking well. Well, I just want to let you know that we had other buildings that we sold or are in the process of selling to help complement our ability to be able to afford being there. And also all the chairs and tables and everything were left there for us. It was pretty much furnished. And so we're just very proud of being able to consolidate all those departments, and also for our staff not to have to worry about parking, not only the expense, but being able to find parking. So thank you for being specific, Jeff, on those dates. Also, we'll be talking more about it. You can look on the website to see when and where we're meeting. So I'd like to make a motion to adopt by leave one.
Second.
That's me. Commissioner Summer Dumas?
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse?
Yes.
Very good. All righty. We'll move right on to our consent agenda items. Well, we have one regular agenda. Our engineer, how could we forget him? Thank you.
You could have just moved on. It would have been
No.
okay. Just one item. Item number one is a resolution approving the Fourth Amendment to agreement with Strand Associates for professional engineering services for the Fields Erdel and Conray Improvement Project located in the city of Sharonville and Sycamore Township. This amendment allows us to do engineering for some construction maintenance of traffic items and some construction services. This is in the amount of $39,000 and it will be out of the permissive auto fund.
Thank you so much. Commissioner Dreehouse. Hey, I don't have any questions. I make a motion to adopt item one.
Commissioner Summer Dumas?
Second.
Commissioner Dreehouse?
Wait,
I'll
let
give
me,
it a second.
let me. It's okay. Take your time. Let's start that over again.
Do you want to make the motion first?
I'd like to make the motion to adopt item one.
Second.
Commissioner Summer Dumas?
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse?
Yes.
Very good.
Thank you.
I never got the chance to publicly. I know I did it privately, and it's a little late, but the Reds opening day, the engineer asked me, did I want to ride on the snowplow? And I did, and it was beautiful, and it was fantastic, and we have good equipment. I just wanted to thank the driver, who was just so pleasant and just.
He told me he thoroughly enjoyed having you with him.
Oh, that's it. We had a good time. So I just wanted to thank you for that.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. So let's move on to our consent agenda.
Thank you, Commissioners. The consent agenda starts at item number 2. Item number 2 is a budget adjustment transferring $520,000 in available resources between various elevator capital projects that we have going on in the county. Item number 3 is a budget adjustment number 18. This is for a $16,000 transfer within a state grant in the probation department. Item number 4 is authorizing a consulting agreement with Public Consulting Group within JFS for $53,575. Item number 5 is a then and now in the county coroner's office and crime lab. This is $1,404 for the inspection of radiation generating equipment at the crime lab. Item number 6 is a then and now with Power School Group LLC. This is $1,200 for IT services and equipment. Item number 7 is a resolution authorizing an invitation to bid with United Electric Company and the board. This is for the electrical work related to the South Scoreboard expansion at Paycor Stadium, $1.8 million. Again, this is funded out of stadium sales tax, non-general fund dollars as part of the renovation program for Paycor Stadium previously approved by the board, and this is the project referenced last week that would be coming forward. We have one more project related to the South Scoreboard expansion coming forward in 2 weeks, I believe. Item number 8 is a purchase order of $32,000. This is for drug testing reagents, I believe, at River City Correctional Institute. Item number 9 starts various JFS agreements. Item 9 is a single source agreement with Dimensional Phases for group home services at $310,250. Item number 10 is an original agreement with Cincinnati Children's Medical Center for placement medical screening services, $242,843. Item 11 is a renewal of a single source agreement with Step Higher Nella's Place for independent living services at $400,000. The total of those items are $952,000. And then item 12, Commissioners, is a report of no objection to 2 liquor permit applications by the sheriff, one in Whitewater Township, one in Springfield Township. The administration recommends approval of the consent agenda. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yeah, thank you. I just had a question about item number 2. We get quite a few comments / complaints about elevators in the county's buildings. Which elevators are these?
Yeah, so we're reducing appropriations from the projects at the Taft Center and Courthouse and transferring and transferring them to projects at 800 Broadway. So we have various elevator projects going on. This is transferring from one project to another.
Okay, so the projects over at Broadway have yet to start?
Yes, these would be to initiate those projects, yes.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Okay. For JFS, I've been keeping total of allocations, not expenditures. And our director of JFS will be coming in June to talk to us about what's been expended so far in Job and Family Services. But as far as allocations, currently I have $70,952,000 that has been allocated. And the reason why I'm doing that for whoever's listening is just people are wondering how did we spend the money so fast? How is it allocated so fast? And we have to assign certain providers. And so far, 70 million, almost 71 million has been allocated, and we are just in May. So be aware of that as we speak more about the Job and Family Service Levy. as it comes forward and making considerations for that. And then lastly, what I wanted to say, I'm going to talk about the election one more time, and that of the less than 20% that voted, be sure that you do your research in November, because there was some deceptive flyers that went out and people did not research it. And the way people run elections is usually they'll send it out maybe a couple days before time to vote. And you need to be responsible and educated on what's true and what's not true. And I think that resulted in a lot of votes that were made for this primary. And I'll leave it at that. I make a motion to adopt items 2 through 12.
Second.
Commissioner Summer Dumas?
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse?
Is there any more business to come before the board? I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Commissioner Summer Dumas?
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse?
Thank you.